If you're using a credit card and making any of these mistakes, you could be hurting your credit score without even realizing it. A lot of people get their first credit card and think, all right, I'm building credit. But the truth is, it's not just having a credit card that builds your credit over time, but it's actually how you use it. Now, these 4 things I'm about to go over aren't complicated strategies by any means, but they are really simple things that I see beginners mess up all the time, and down the line, it always ends up costing them. What's up, y'all? My name is Ruben, and this is Eternal Assets, where I'll talk any and everything financial literacy. Listen, I don't want to waste your time anymore, so let's get right into the video. All right, so the first mistake I have is using your credit card to spend money that you don't already have in your checking account. So this is probably the most common mistake that I tend to see, and it's where people really start to get in trouble. A credit card is not extra money, and it's not a loan that you should rely on, but instead it's simply a tool. The best way to think about it by far is this: if you don't already have the money in your bank account to pay for something, you shouldn't be putting it on a credit card, because what happens is people swipe their card, the balance builds up, and then when the bill comes, they can't pay it off. Now you're carrying a balance, and now that interest on the card starts to work against you. Another easy way to avoid this is to treat your credit card like a debit card. If you went and swipe your debit card for it, then you shouldn't be swiping your credit card for it either. That one mindset change alone will keep you out of a lot of problems. The second mistake I got for you is paying only the minimum payment on the credit card. So what you have to realize is that when you pay only the minimum payment, you're allowing the rest of the balance to sit there, and then that's when interest gets stacked on top of it every single month. And credit card interest is not small at all, and often it's 20%, 30% plus. So what might have started as a $500 balance can easily turn into something that's much more over time just because you didn't pay it off. And guess what? Credit card companies absolutely love when you pay just the minimum, because at the end of the day, that's how they really make most of their money. But from your perspective, on the other hand, that's one of the worst things that you can do. So the goal should always be to pay it off in full every single month if you're able to. That way you avoid interest completely, you build your credit, and you stay in control of your money. Honestly, if you take nothing else from this video, at least take that. The third mistake is going to be closing your first card too early. So this one surprises a lot of people because it seems like a good idea at first. Maybe you just don't use the card much anymore, or you might have upgraded to a much better one over time, so you might think, let me just close out this account. But your first credit card is usually your oldest line of credit, and that plays a huge role in your credit score. The longer your credit history is, then the better that looks to all of the lenders out there, because that shows them that you have actual experience using credit cards already. So when you close out that account, you're potentially shortening your credit history, and that can hurt your score and make it drop. Now, this may be a bit different if the card you're thinking about closing has an annual fee. If you don't use it much anymore and it's not worth keeping, then that's a different conversation. But if it is a no annual fee card, then there's usually no harm in just keeping it open and letting it sit there, or just using it occasionally. Even if you only use it once every few months for something really small, it helps to keep that account active and open and continues to build your credit history. And the fourth mistake is going to be applying for too many credit cards in a short period of time. So listen, every time you apply for a credit card, the lender does something that's called a hard inquiry on your credit report. 1 or 2 isn't a big deal, but if you start stacking up a bunch of applications back to back, it can start to hurt your score. It can make you look a bit more risky to all the lenders out there, because from their perspective, it looks like you're trying to get access to a bunch of different credit all at once. A real good rule of thumb is to space out your application, so something like every 6 months you could put in another application, and that's a much safer pace. And this is especially when you're just starting out, because to be honest, there really should be no rush, because building credit is a long-term game, so it's not something you can speed run within just a couple of months. So at the end of the day, credit cards are a real powerful tool, but only if you use them correctly. And if you avoid these 4 mistakes that I just spoke about, then you're already setting yourself up to have a really good, strong credit score. Now, if this video helped you out, make sure to hit the like button, because it really helps out the channel. And if you want more content on things like this, credit, saving, and building wealth the right way, then consider subscribing. Also, let me know in the comments, what was your first credit card, and what's something you wish you knew before you actually got your hands on it? Peace.